What's going on, everybody? Crazy Monkey Crypto here. We are just going to be doing a live stream and hanging out. It's my first live stream, still a small YouTuber, so not really expecting anybody to hop in, but if you're checking this out at a later point in time, thank you for clicking on the video. Like I said, we're just going to kind of be going through some different miners. I'm just going to kind of be rambling. If people hop in, obviously love to have you. We can interact a little bit, but so first off, let's look at just what the market looks like. Check out our good friend Bitcoin. 67,445. And yes, I love where Bitcoin's price is right now. Do not get me wrong. But I've seen a couple people say this already, and I think it's very true. Bitcoin just seems to be hanging out here, and it's not very interesting. We're not seeing huge dips. I mean, we did see it go down to 56 from like 72 to 56, but since the beginning of May, it's kind of been really boring. Now, I still think the bull run is coming. I definitely do not think that we have had it already. But it's it's an interesting sentiment, and Panda's talked about it. A couple other people have talked about it, which is a really interesting feeling right now, where nothing's really happening. Obviously for home miners, it's been very bloody. Check out something. Let's just go back to my portfolio. So if we go here, we can see for 7 days, yes, we have Zealous. And Zealous has kind of kept stuff afloat over the last, I don't know, two weeks or so. Which is good. But I think the problem with all these new coins that just pop up is people can mine a whole bunch of it, and then when the price appreciates, then they just dump it. And it's hard for some of these projects to recover past that. If they are able to recover, I love it. If Zealous is going to be the next Ethereum, or it'll be the next, I don't know, maybe it's able to support the community a little bit, I would absolutely love that. But there's been a little bit of a sell-off here in the last couple days. It peaked May 28th, just under $36, and now we're down to 24 or so. So, check out, we see Flux up about 7.4%, Firo up about 5%. Has anyone actually used Firo? I think it's just a privacy coin, but I was looking at maybe mining enough to get a node. Yeah, I don't know. I think it'd be interesting. Monero, out of nowhere, up almost 5%. Caspa doing a little bit of something. But this is another one that's just, it just doesn't seem like it's doing much in terms of price. You can see from May 8th through May 31st, I guess it is up like 12.5% over 14 days and almost 26% over 30 days. It just feels like people are waiting for Caspa to explode. Previously it hit a high of 18 or so cents. But I think people are just waiting for it to explode, and I feel like people have a lot of Caspa. And again, similar to what a lot of people have been saying, I think when Caspa hits 5x's from this, which would be like 65 cents, I think that's going to be it could be a big sell-off point for a lot of people. So they can take their money maybe move on to greener pastures. Anything else up? Demo? Love to see Demo go higher. I have a macaron. This is literally probably one of the easiest projects you could ever have. You literally just plug it into your car and you earn rewards every week as long as you drive at least once. It's insanely easy. I think I have like 260 demo or something. Been running it for I think like 16 weeks. What was that? Like $53? I don't know. It's been down a lot. Right when I got it. Let's see if I can try to figure out when I got it. Okay, so I think I got it around in March. Yeah, I did get no, I got it back in January. So back here it was making about 15 demo a day, and the price was right at about 50 cents. So it was making like $7 a week, which no is not crazy, but for something that only costs $75, that's a pretty good deal. Obviously, again, now prices down. You can see it's 74% down from its all-time high. But again, I think that's a really cool D-pin project. I heard about this project probably back here in like January of 2023, and this is a project I wish I would have got into sooner. Just bought the $300 AutoPie, and my goodness, I could have made thousands and thousands of dollars if I would have been smarter there. But it is what it is. So just about everything else is down over 7 days. We got helium. I don't know if anyone. I mean, does helium even have a use case anymore? Like true HNT helium. Like, I know it pumped here, but like I have mobile, and I know mobile is doing a lot of really cool stuff. But like just helium itself, like helium HNT token. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not well educated on that. Let's see. So yeah, I mean, this is kind of my portfolio-ish. I either mine these coins, or I'm looking at mining these coins, or they're just prominent mining coins. Yeah, I mean, I've mined Grin, Neoxa, Zephyr, Nodal. Nodal's a project you do it on your phone. It doesn't earn you much. It's like earns you like 10 cents a day or something. But I don't know, if it is a 10x in the bull run, that means it was making you $1 a day if you didn't sell. But I mine Nurai. I'd love to see Nurai maybe do a little something here in the bull run. I haven't really been paying attention to what they've, like any tech they've been putting out, but to hit a high of like 0.7 of a penny, and we're all the way down to like 1.5 of a penny. So don't love that, but my Nexa, Fira, Dynex, Demo, Iron, Chlor, Octa. I think I want to mine some Ergo. I've been hearing a lot of good things about Ergo lately, and yeah, I think it's fairly efficient. We'll check it out. We'll look at some of the stats later, but I think it's fairly efficient. The Autolycus mining algorithm. I have Hive Mapper. I've been really frustrated with Hive Mapper. They had me ranked at a 2 out of 4 on, my mount rating, and so I'm only earning like half rewards, which is frustrating because I feel like there's nothing else I can do to make my mount any better. And yeah, I mean, it's just a little bit frustrating. I think they're going to be putting in an overlay soon, so you can actually see what you need to do to correct it. But I have a little bit of a lithium, but again, it's one of these projects just been hammered with FPGAs. That Rabbit just put out a video this morning saying, we need Bitmain to actually decentralize the network, and you don't normally think of Bitmain as being the good guy and decentralizing the network, but that might be the case. Again, Helium Mobile. I'm gonna try to put out a video soon. I recorded everything. I just haven't gotten around to editing it. I bought a Google Pixel 8 Pro and the indoor hotspot for like $600 and some. And I think like over the course of a month, I earned like $40 some worth of Helium Mobile. Now it's obviously a little bit skewed because even say from 6 weeks ago, what is it down? Or sorry, a month ago, yeah, it's down almost 30%. So a little bit tough to tell, but I'm just going to be holding those mobile tokens because it's actually really cool. And they're testing out this new feature where they're actually using their outdoor 5G antennas. So yeah, it's actually really cool. Cadena, never gotten into Cadena. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. It just seems kind of like a flopped project at this point. Not very exciting. Flux. I'm a huge proponent of Flux. I have a node. I've mined some. I really like their proof of useful work if they're going to get into that. I think Flux could do some really big things here. Once they get proof of useful work implemented, and if they get it in with Hive like they say they're going to, man, that's got me excited. That's got me excited. I say Caspa. I missed the train on Caspa. I'm not gonna lie. I was way too busy when it came out with GPUs, and I just didn't have the money to buy some of these really expensive ASIC miners. And I could have got a KS0 or KS0 Pro, but the problem is it's such an aggressive halving schedule, and I don't see the return at this point. If I want some, I could just buy some. Which I don't love doing. I like mining my coins even if I move them into something else. But ETC, I think ETC actually could do some really cool things too. They can deploy basically everything that Ethereum can deploy, which is actually really cool. Something I don't really think is talked about enough for ETC. Litecoin, Dogecoin. Dude, it's just been good. Script mining has just been good for a long time. We'll look at some of the ASICs. It's just been good for a long time. And they're coming out with some new, the AlphaPex DG1 Plus, the L9. It's not, the L9 isn't officially released yet or announced, but you got that. You also got the Locotech hash. This is the Hashblade that they just said that they were working on. So it's just been good. And come on, do you really think Dogecoin's going anywhere? It's like the OG meme coin. I just don't see Doge. Look, even in the past year, okay, you cut out this little bit. Oh, yeah, it's like the what? Why is it only doing like 2 months? Dear God. Well, whatever. And then I just like Solana. I think it's a pretty cool blockchain. It is proof of stake. Don't love that, but there's a lot of deep-in projects that run on it, and it's actually, transactions are super fast. There was a period where they were having that congestion, which was irritating, but it's been all good for me since. So, all right. Sorry for the flashbang. I wish mine the ASIC had a dark mode. For whatever reason, mine the ASIC, if you guys are watching this, please implement a dark mode. Please, please, please. So let's set our electricity cost at like 8 cents, because we'll look at miners that you could get hosted. And I feel like 8 cents is a pretty good rate that you could find. So let's check out the KS5 Pro. 644 casts per day. It's about $81.85, and it says about a 5-month payback time, but I don't think mine, the ASIC, actually takes into account the halving schedule. I think that only takes it if it were to mine 644 Caspa every single day. You'd be able to pay back in a little less than 5 months. So my guess is it probably is going to be closer to 9-10 months. KS5. Now, I think they just haven't updated this. I don't understand why the KS5 Pro would be 11,500 and the KS5 would be 26,149. That doesn't make any sense. Let's look. Maybe they have. Is someone actually selling? Okay, so Terra has it at 31,000. See, yeah. So that's in stock. I don't know any of these other three. KS5, does anyone? Yeah. I mean, it would make sense if it was about $34,000 for the KS5 Pro versus the KS5 being at about 26. KS5L, again, just a lot of Caspa miners. I think all these companies are trying to capitalize on what looks like really good profits here for the Caspa miners. You guys know in a gold rush, the one who wins the most, the one who makes the shovel. So I should put this out. You guys can see it's, I mean, for the power and the hash rate, let's check how efficient. It looks like almost like half as efficient. So 283, expect these to be like 140, 150. Yeah, so, but I mean, it is a lot cheaper. If this truly is like 34,000, like Terra has on their, 32,000, then at maybe 13,399. Maybe that's a good deal if you got, really cheap electric, where you can run this thing, but it's just for real cheap. It's kind of like when they put out the T19 versus the S19, the T21 versus the S21. The T-Series takes a lot more power, but it's typically cheaper. So that's where you have to look at like dollar per mega hash versus like joules per mega hash, and do you value like the money more or do you value the efficiency more? Same deal with this Dragon Ball. I've never heard of this Dragon Ball miner KS6. I mean, it looks the exact same as pretty much every other ASIC miner. Yeah, I've never heard of that. But it pretty much maxes the Ivy Link BMKS Max at about 11 terahash, 3,400 watts. So not far off from the KS5L. Now this says $6,500. I don't know if any of these sites are actually any good. I don't know what flag that is, but you might have to pay import, that kind of stuff. Got the Wind Miner, KS3. To be honest, guys, I'm sick of talking about Caspa miners. I really don't think it's worth investing into a Caspa miner at this point. Truthfully, I don't think it's going to be worth it. I don't think you're going to see the return. I don't think you're going to see the return on it, and I feel like you'd be better off buying the coin. But I mean, do whatever you want. Don't listen to me. Do your own research for all this kind of stuff. But we do have the Gold Shell AL box sitting at 8th with a lithium. I would be expecting to see a Gold Shell AL Box Plus or Gold Shell AL Box Pro coming out here very shortly, because that's just what Gold Shell does. They will release a box with, they'll be real quick to release a miner. And they did the same kind of stuff in the last bull run. If you remember, like the Doge box miners, the mini Doge box miners. They'll put it out, and then they'll put it out with what looks like good specs, and then they'll quickly up those specs with a new model after everyone buys the first model, which will kind of trump that model, and then they do it again. But then you have Bitmain come in, or one of these big ASIC manufacturers, and they basically trump the efficiency, and these box miners basically become pretty good paperweights. But right now, there is no ALBox Pro, there is no Bitmain Lithium ASIC, and so outside of the FPGAs, I think it's actually doing pretty good on lithium. You know, if you think lithium's going to go up, I think it's about two some dollars right now. Good God. God, I don't know why that scared me so much. Crepes. So what's the price of a lithium? It was like $1.80 some, wasn't it? $1.59. So, you know, if lithium goes up to $10, $10 per coin in the bull run, you know, with the stuff they're doing, I mean, who knows? $10, it means you're mining about $180 in retrospect worth of a lithium, which makes your payback time like a month or something. But that's assuming that network cache rate doesn't increase, the difficulty doesn't increase, that kind of stuff. Now we get into the Doge and Litecoin miners. This is one that I wish I would have gotten into. This one says just under $14 in profit. Well, this would be interesting to see if it actually gets $17.55 worth of mining revenue. I'm not sure it does. That'd be 110 Doge and only 0.03 Litecoin. Yeah, if anyone has that miner and you want to comment on the video, I'd be interested to see what people are actually earning with their L7s, because I'm not confident it's this high, even at 8 cents per kilowatt hour. Just seems really high. The X16P, I have the X16Q. For home miner, I'm not sure the X16P is real great, but I love my X16Q. The thing's silent. It really doesn't use that much power. I have mine on the performances ultra mode. It's about 700 watts, and it gets about 2100 mega hash. Super efficient, super quiet. Love that miner. No, it's interesting at ETH. They have so many of these different combinations. They have, you guys can see here, ETH. I don't know what BTN is. I think this is Cogel, Octaspace, ETHW, ETC. This is POW blocks. I don't believe that you could be mining ETC and get 1257 and suddenly ETZ plus ZIL and you only make $2.42. That doesn't make any sense to me. I think their ZIL calculator is messed up. This maybe is like mine ZIL 95% of the time and ETC 5% of the time or something. Yeah, the K7. That's another machine that kind of wish I would have gotten into. Nervous had a little bit of a pump. I actually don't even think I have it here. Let's add a coin. Nervos. Oops. How do I add it? Shoot. Oh, there we go. So we had Nervos. That's 132 overall. It's up 4% in the last 7 days. But I know a lot of people wanted this miner when it started pumping. I haven't really paid attention to Nervos and what they're doing. But I think it could actually do some pretty good things in this bull run. But same with like Cadena and same with what other miner? Some of these miners that have already been mining, or that are mining coins that have already seen a bull run, it'll be interesting to see if those actually break all-time highs, or what they actually end up doing. Because people like the new shiny. They see the new coin and they're like, ooh, shiny, cool, promises. But then it might just be a pump and dump. So to some of these more established coins, do they actually end up doing better in the bull run? I don't know. I don't think anybody knows, but it'll be interesting to see what they actually do end up doing. You got the S21 Hydro. I think that's the top Bitcoin miner. So that's interesting. You're still making under $9 a day at 8 cents per kilowatt hour. It's one of the older Caspa miners, KS2. E9 Pro. I have the E9 Pro. I have it sent out for hosting at about 7 cents per kilowatt hour, so it's making just under $6. This thing has been mining, since I think I got it right after it released, maybe April or so, April of 2023. I think I got it for a higher price than what I wanted. It was like 4,000, I believe. So, but yeah, it's just been mining ETC, man. I'm gonna keep stacking it. I've sold a little bit to get into other projects, but I think that E9 Pro could actually be a really solid buy if ETC has some nice price appreciation. We get into some more jazz miners. The okay, the X4, yeah, okay, that's the more powerful version. I was like, the X41U, I'm like, that don't make any sense, but okay. Yep. Like I said, I have the X16Q. I love it. You can push this, overclock it with some of the newer firmware for just about 2,100 mega hash for about 700 watts. And where can you buy this for $2,900? I don't trust that. So why do they have two different X16Qs? X16Q interesting. They have the X4 on here too. The KA box on here too. This stuff's kind of, this stuff's just kind of broken. I kind of liked it at the beginning, but it's a little broken. Interesting enough, they have the Coal Engine P2 on here, which is not technically an ASIC. It's an FPGA. And this is saying you can mine $3.31 profit after 8 cents per kilowatt hour. Interesting. But this obviously doesn't seem to be working. I've seen some YouTubers review it. I want to get into FPGA. I might do an Osprey E300, or maybe either an E300 V33P or E100 V35. Hey, Disclosure Crypto. Could you look at Gary Network once? Sure. Is it on Gary Network? Thanks for hopping in, Disclosure Crypto. Let's see. What is Gary Network? Largest Web3 audio and video live streaming platform? Honestly, I've been kind of asking for something outside of YouTube, because I think it'd be kind of interesting. Lock a world of live conversations and expert insights with Chingari, your ultimate platform for meaningful connections and knowledge sharing. I think I'm actually. Yeah, I mean it looks like it could be interesting. Yeah, it's the number 8 top grossing app on the Play Store. Yeah, Man, definitely. I mean, it could be interesting. I typically stick with proof of work projects, but you know, for a good project, I would venture out. What's it been doing over the last? Ooh. So when did this? When did it launch? Okay, so it looks like it's already been through one bull run. But it's down. Ooh, it's down almost 97% from its all-time high. Oh God. Yeah. Probably gonna stay away from this one. This is a little concerning here to drop from 74 cents to 12. Okay, there's an FTX crash dump is the reason of the big red candle. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's not a lot of the proof of work coins that I looked at. I mean, they have been looking this similar red pattern for a long time too. So yeah, I know FTX kind of screwed a lot of people, and I know they still are. It's a little bit upsetting the way they're paying people back, even for the people that they scammed. So yeah, no, that'd be interesting. I might take a look at this a little bit later. Is this built on Solana? Yeah, built on Solana. Yeah, man. Seems like an interesting project. They raised 13 million from Aptos as well. Nice. What is Aptos again? Okay. Is it like a... Okay, so it's maybe two... Okay, so Aptos is a blockchain. Interesting. How come they're moving away from Solana? Be interested to know why, because Solana seems like a pretty solid blockchain. Just wondering why they would transfer over. We'll take a look at our GPUs. About 10 cents per kilowatt hour. There's not a whole lot that's profitable. Not very profitable, at least. See, the 170HX is profiting still around $1 on Able. I believe this was because there was a huge difficulty drop off. Solana's a little congested, you know. Maybe that's why they're moving. Yeah, I was talking about that earlier. Solana, it had like that 2 or 3 week stretch where it was congested. You literally couldn't get a transaction through. But I know they implemented a bunch of changes, and now I mean I used to have to try to claim my Helium Mobile. Used to have to try like 2 dozen times before it actually went through, and now I do it once. It works perfectly fine, no errors. But yeah, I mean, if they got frustrated with Solana when that was happening, I don't blame them at all. It certainly was frustrating when it was happening. I don't have difficulty on here, but yeah, I know Able. I think they had a difficulty adjustment, and so it's super profitable. Not super profitable, but more profitable right now. But even like Ergo, I mean, you're profiting 50 cents at 10 cents per kilowatt hour. Problem is, people don't typically have 10 cents a kilowatt hour, so you make that 15. I mean, 30 cents, but I mean, oh hey, thank you, Disclosure Crypto. Appreciate it, man. I'm definitely not the most knowledgeable YouTuber out there. Not even close. There's a lot of people with a lot more expertise in this field than I do. But I like mining, man. I like being in the space. I think it's a really cool space. Just like to share what's going on with the community and put out videos. And we're gonna start doing some live streams. So yeah, just to do a little bit more informal stuff. Are you disclosure? Are you a miner or crypto investor? Kind of like what's your angle in this space? What's interesting with Ironfish? I think the way the algorithm's designed, I feel like it could be good for GPUs if Ironfish gets some a little bit more mainstream adoption. I don't think it's going to take over like ETH did. I don't think any coin is going to take over like ETH did. At least not this cycle, but I think you can. Both am literally an investor and 10% on mining. So okay, cool, man. Cool. What do you mine? Just because that's more what I'm familiar with is the mining aspect. I don't do as much investing. I do a little bit of traditional investing, just on some safer assets. But yeah, I think for GPUs, I think the saving grace is going to be a pump of all of these coins. Like I talked about earlier with Flux, if they're able to push out proof of useful work, and you're able to put so they're trying to integrate. For those who aren't familiar, they're trying to integrate with Hive OS, which is, again, if you're not familiar, one of the most popular crypto mining softwares. And what they're trying to do is basically be able to take the rigs. So basically, in the downtime, they can just be mining. You can mine whatever you want, and then when the resources are needed for proof of useful work or compute or AI rendering, whatever it is, they can go get used for that task, and then when they're done, they go right back to mining. And so essentially, you're always going to have kind of those baseline mining rewards. But then you're also going to get paid out. And I believe Flux, at one point, they said it was supposed to be like a 10x in your mining profitability, which, I mean, shoot, that would be huge. But like I said, I think all these coins together, I think all of their network hash rate, they're going to have to absorb the GPUs during the bull run. Because I think as soon as this stuff starts looking profitable, more and more people are going to turn on. I think there are probably some people that won't turn on at all this cycle with 40-cent electric cost. But that's just kind of how I see it. And Ironfish, you can dual mine if you have the power accessibility. I know it's not the most efficient, but yeah, you can see Abel kind of dominating, kind of dominating a lot. Let's check so I have 57. I have 16 5700 XTs, and I got them for fairly cheap off of Nerd Gear, so about $150 per GPU. At about 16 GPUs. Let's put in 0 there. So saying I could be making about $760 on Ironfish and Graham. I thought Game Pass was dead. Volume $1,200. Emission $590. That's terrible. Firo It's about 615. Anokis. There's so many new coins that come out. It's I understand when Panda says he's exhausted by all these S coins. I mean, Anokis, Friend Coin. I've heard of Satox, AITT Coin, Voltaic, Cure Coin, Paprika Coin. I mean, there's too many coins. There's too many coins. But right now, what I personally am doing is I'm mining Neoxa to save up for another masternode. So I already have one, and you see the yields have actually been going up because they don't list Zealous on hashrate.no, and I think that's where a lot of people are actually going to. Oh, appreciate it. Appreciate it, Disclosure Crypto. I appreciate it. If you're heading out, have a good night, man. Stay safe. But yeah, for my 5700 XTs, stacking up Neoxa, trying to save up for a second master node, and then I think my personal plan might be to go over to a little bit of Ergo, stack up some Ergo. I like the tech they got going on there, and I've heard some people talk about it, and it's kind of piqued my interest a little bit. But obviously, if you got GPUs, it's always have to say not financial advice. I mine ETH. You can't mine ETH anymore. Unless you're talking about ETH hash, like the algorithm. Okay, I got 2 ETH hash miners. Let's check out CPUs. Wow, XMR. Welcome to the party. So I have a 7700X, and with Zephyr's price being in the absolute tank lately, yeah, man, that's actually heartbreaking. You know, what's heartbreaking? That ETH switched away from proof of work. Let's check out Zephyr. Yeah, so not a great looking chart for Zephyr. I started mining it, probably would have been right about 3 months ago. And you guys can see the price has been on a steady decline. There's this huge dip. Well, what appeared to be a huge dip. It was like 50+% sell off. Yeah, about the ETH. Yeah, I mean it. I think for this cycle, it's really going to suck for GPU miners. I feel like with ETH moving away from proof of work, it's forcing a lot of these projects to innovate and try to like fight for being the top coin. And I just don't think any of them were ready for that yet. And so I think right now we're just seeing a bunch of fractured kind of mining profits that people are just kind of grabbing. And so I think for like the immediate, I don't think that's good for so for the immediate, I don't think that's good for miners, but I think in the long term, it actually will be good for miners. It'll bring more exposure to some of these other coins that actually have really, really cool technologies going on. But I mean, would I have liked ETH to still be around? Absolutely. To mine it. Ooh, what's the pattern on Zephyr? Yeah. So yeah, in the last 7 days, I forget when it was. I was right here. So apparently there was some community member. It was like the Zeph God or something. I think he was trying to make a DEX for Zeph, and he like started, I don't know, just creating a big like FUD pool, and I think he was upset because I don't know, I could be wrong, but I know he was basically creating a big fuss and fudding Zeph. Nothing, I believe nothing fundamentally changed about Zeph. No, all the developers are still there. It was just kind of an upset community member, but yeah, it's been brutal. It's been brutal the last 3-4 months. Yeah, man. Really hoping for my CPU miners that maybe Zeph recovers a little bit, because I mean, yeah, Monero to take over, man, I don't know. I feel like it's not updated, but I feel like Kylocoin actually is probably the highest. Kylocoin just moved off of FPGAs. So, and Kylocoin's, I don't really know much about Kylocoin, but I do know that they were being hit with that same hash rate, basically wall. Mining pool.stream. Oops. Mining pool stats.stream. Sorry for your eyes. So I don't think we'll be able to see it here, but the hash rate has basically increased so much on basically it was the 3 top FPGA coins, which are Radiant, Alephium, and Kylocoin. And Kylocoin decided it was going to fork, and so now it is a CPU mineable coin. And Alephium basically isn't doing anything, and it's still kind of getting wrecked by FPGAs because the only ASICs out are the AL box, and GPU miners really don't mind Alephium anymore because it's just not profitable anymore with the FPGAs. And Radiant basically is still getting hammered with FPGAs, and they are kind of content just doing exactly that. So, you know, if that's what they want, I'm not, in my personal opinion, I'm not sure that's the best option, but that's what Radiant wants to do. I think it'll be fixed when Alephium gets some bigger ASICs put out. But yeah, pretty much Monero dominating everything. Now, the one good thing about CPU mining rigs is that they really don't take that much power, at least for some of them, maybe not the Epics. Like, I guess 25 cents of power, but in comparison to GPUs, you know, it's not too bad. And they put out relatively low heat. They're quiet. You can kind of put them wherever, which is pretty nice. But I don't know much about CPUs, to be completely honest. I have my one rig on Zeph, and I haven't touched it since. So, okay. I think that will probably do it. I think we'll wrap it up. Thanks for hanging out, Disclosure Crypto, in the chat. Thank you guys if you are watching after the fact. If you did like the video, you liked the content, take a look at the channel, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below. You guys can leave comments specifically with the timestamp if you rewatch it live, and that way I'll know exactly what you're talking about. But appreciate you guys. Take care, stay safe, and let's smash some blocks, baby.